We take in these live pictures reaching us from Wennington on the outskirts of Greater London, which you can see for yourselves. A major incident is being declared by the London Fire Brigade, not just because of this incident in Wennington, but because of a number of fires starting right across the city, and southern England is in these soaring temperatures. The record temperature for the UK has been broken today, over 40 degrees centigrade. The UK hit that new record, 40.3 to be precise, in Coningsby in Lincolnshire, and a temperature just slightly below that was recorded.
Well, there you go. This is GB News Originals. I'm Emily Carver. Please do give this video a like and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. And do leave a comment. Let me know what you think.
At Heathrow Airport in West London. But let's concentrate on this conflagration in Wennington in Greater London. More than 100 firefighters are battling this fire there, and a large number of fire appliances as well. It appears to have started, well, some say in grassland, but there are conflicting accounts. It's also been said it may have started in a scrapyard. This is, of course, the outskirts of London. Some reports say it started an explosion in a scrapyard and then has spread to the tinder-dry grassland, setting fields ablaze. And as you can see for yourself, that's a row of garages, it seems, on fire. Several homes also, the previous shot we had for you, several homes have been destroyed and are still burning in the blaze. Also a church, and it seems that there are a number of fires there burning throughout that area. Clearly, firefighters have been able to extinguish some of them, but still a lot of work to do, it seems. Well, let's get the very latest on it all with Jonathan Smith, Assistant Commissioner at the London Fire Brigade, joins us from central London. Very good to talk to you, Mr. Smith. Tell us, first of all, about what we are seeing in Wennington. What are the circumstances? How many resources are deployed there by the London Fire Brigade, and what is the situation?
So, as you can see from the pictures, the situation is currently being brought under control. At its height, we had approximately 100 firefighters on scene. The situation remains very dynamic. It's obviously spread out over a wide area. The conditions that our fire crews are operating in are extremely arduous because of the temperatures that we're currently facing. This was one incident amongst many that London fire crews have been facing throughout today, which was the reason we declared a major incident earlier this afternoon. We were dealing with not only this incident in Wennington, but a substantial incident near Upminster. And across the capital, we've been dealing with a number of grassland and woodland type fires that have been started as a result of the particular heat wave that we're facing at the moment, and the fact that the ground is so tinderbox dry. So our resources today have been under significant pressure, which was part of the reason for declaring the major incident earlier today. What I should say, though, to provide reassurance, is that the London Fire Brigade is still responding to emergency calls, but we would ask that when people are requiring the London Fire Brigade, it is for life-threatening emergencies and fire situations. Our resources are being deployed dynamically across the capital as we speak to bring these incidents under control. And we would ask, actually, that people moderate their behaviour over the course of the next sort of 12 to 24 hours in particular, by not having things like barbecues out in parkland and woodland, by making sure that cigarettes are extinguished properly, by making sure that rubbish and broken glass in particular is not left lying around, which can cause a spark and trigger wildfire. We have been under significant pressure today, but I'd just like to pay testament to our firefighters, officers and control staff who have worked extremely hard today to make sure that the resources of the London Fire Brigade have been able to bring these incidents under control in partnership with our emergency services in the Metropolitan Police and the London Ambulance Service.
And Assistant Commissioner, could I ask you, in addition to what you mentioned there about what the public can do, could I add in perhaps if they spot even a small blaze, some smouldering going on in a piece of grass. It may seem trivial at that point, but would it be worth reporting on the basis that, given how tinder dry, given the conditions that you describe, that could easily spread?
No, that's absolutely right. So it's really, really important that people call 999 and ask for the fire brigade when they do see any fires, however small they may be, because as a result of the temperatures that we've seen over the last week, and in particular the last 2 days, the ground is extremely dry and acts like a tinderbox. So even a small fire will develop very, very quickly if it's not tackled effectively and efficiently in its early stages. We would also...
London is burning, while City Hall watches. The temperature spikes, the earth cracks, and as heat waves turn Britain's green spaces into pure tinder, the capital finds itself teetering on the edge of catastrophe. Welcome back to Britain Underneath, where we peel away the polished press releases to expose the stark realities of power in modern Britain. Before we go any further into how our leaders handle emergency after emergency, please take a brief moment to subscribe to the channel and join our growing community of informed viewers. Your support helps us keep bringing you independent analysis. Now, let us dive into the smoke and mirrors of City Hall.
Say to people that they don't try and tackle fires themselves. The situation that you can see is extremely dynamic, and these fires can develop very, very quickly, and we would not want to see members of the public exposing themselves to unnecessary risk. The London Fire Brigade and other fire and rescue services across the UK have very well trained, very well prepared and very well equipped firefighters to deal with these incidents. So we would urge the public not to try and take them on themselves, but to make sure that they call us at the earliest opportunity, because the earlier we get that information, the earlier we can mobilise and the earlier we can bring these incidents under control.
And is it areas, talking about Greater London, of course it goes for all our major conurbations, is it areas like this on the outskirts of the major cities where there's a mix? We all know the terrain. There's a mix of grassland, woodland, maybe some scrubland as well. Therefore, it's not just all buildings and tarmac, which I imagine is harder to set on fire. You're in danger of getting these situations developing where something can develop in the woodland or in the grass and then spread to buildings from there.
Well, interestingly, London's actually one of the sort of greenest cities in Europe in terms of the amount of green space that there is, even in central London. So you're right to point to the fact that the suburbs tend to have more grassland, more fields, more woodland. But actually, we do see significant areas of green spaces in central London as well. So at first, it may appear that wildfire and grassland fires in particular are not always a major issue for urban brigades like London Fire Brigade. Actually, that's not the case. We do have significant areas of green areas in central London and on the outskirts. So it's very much a clear and present threat for us to make sure that we're prepared and ready to respond to these incidents as and when they occur.
When unprecedented heat hits the United Kingdom, sending suburban fields and residential streets up in flames, the public naturally looks to leadership for protection. Yet time and again, the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, appears to offer little more than rhetoric, while our frontline emergency teams are pushed to breaking point. During critical moments, like the terrifying blazes that swept through communities such as Wennington, destroying homes, garages, and sacred local landmarks, the response from City Hall was remarkably passive. While brave firefighters battled 40-degree heat in conditions likened to wartime efforts, the political leadership seemed content to act as a commentator rather than a decisive administrator. Take a breath and look at the actual administrative record. While emergency response workers drag heavy equipment across parched earth, facing thousands of desperate emergency calls in a single afternoon, the primary advice issuing from the Mayor's office often boils down to asking citizens to avoid barbecues or clear up glass bottles. While sensible enough on an individual level, Telling millions of people to simply moderate their personal behaviour hardly constitutes a strategic disaster prevention plan. It raises a serious, mature question. Where is the long-term investment, the systemic land management, and the crucial infrastructure funding required to safeguard the capital before the flames take hold? If you appreciate grounded analysis like this, please take a moment to subscribe to Britain Underneath. It genuinely helps the channel survive and continue producing deep dives into British public affairs. The reality on the ground is that local communities are left deeply vulnerable. Year after year, warning after warning, report after report lands on the desks of local authority leaders. We hear talk about net zero targets, press conferences discussing climate shifts, and endless media appearances blaming external factors for the disruption. But local administrative action requires direct, practical governance. It requires equipping emergency services with modern, continuous assets, managing urban grass borders that run alongside homes, and upgrading outdated housing stock so residents do not swelter in unmanageable heat. Instead of taking preventive structural steps, leadership continuously reacts after the damage is done, relying on the sheer exhaustion and heroism of emergency workers to paper over the crack in public planning. When critical incidents are declared, City Hall quickly points to multi-agency coordination frameworks and rehearsed emergency strategies. But operational coordination is not a substitute for proactive investment. When suburban properties burn to the ground because dry scrubland sits unmanaged right against back fences, it represents a failure of basic municipal oversight. City Hall appears far more comfortable issuing media commentary than doing the unglamorous, heavy lifting of local risk management and urban planning. Please pause for a moment, stay informed, and consider subscribing to Britain Underneath if you value sharp, unapologetic coverage of UK policy. Subscribing ensures you never miss our upcoming political deep dives. It is easy to stand before news cameras and offer words of gratitude to response staff after a crisis unfolds. It is far harder to do the quiet, effective administrative work that prevents a crisis from overwhelming a major global city in the first place. When leadership falls back on basic warnings instead of delivering robust, resilient public infrastructure, Londoners are left asking if City Hall is truly running the city or simply watching it react. Thank you for watching Britain Underneath. Make sure to subscribe to the channel now so you never miss our latest analysis. And we look forward to seeing you in the next video.